and welcome to Wanderers Live. My name is Michael Turner, your host, and I'm joined by Tats. Welcome, Tats.
I'm back.
It's great to have you. You did leave me in the lurch last week.
Sorry about that, but it is great to be back. I missed the A-League, I missed my Wanderers, and I kind of missed you.
Oh, that's very sweet of you to say. Well, I've missed football as well. I've missed you too, Tats, but we've got a great game ahead. It's an important game for the Western Sydney Wanderers. Don't forget to get involved with the discussion tonight. Hashtag WSW Live on Twitter and Instagram. Of course, the best Twitter feed that gets read out by us wins this, a $50 JD Sports voucher. So all on the line for you guys at home, tuning in. Of course, all on the line for the Wanderers tonight. But let's talk a little bit about last week, Tats. Muller unfortunately got in a bit of a collision. Talk to us about his condition. Yeah,
look, that is a touching point from last week. So Muller is at home. He's heavily concussed, but the club's medical department are monitoring him regularly. He's at home tonight. He'll be watching the game with his wife and kids. So we're just hoping you get well soon, Nikolai, and we can't wait to have you back.
Definitely. Well, we'll check out some of the video highlights of that match coming on your screen right now. So let's talk a little bit about the game, Tat. So Wellington, this was a must-win game for us to keep in the finals race. Wellington, of course, second on the table, best ever finish to a season for them. They had an early chance, as you can see on the screens. They did hit the post twice. Almost looked like it went in, but got tapped out. Yeboah did score later in the game. A great goal from Yeboah.
Yeah, it did. He did. Look, he came on, obviously after Muller was taken out, unfortunately, and he definitely took his chances there. It was great to see that, and he clenched that three-pointer for us. Like, we knew going into this game we needed to get as many points as possible, so that was really good. Obviously, that was assisted by none other than
Tate Russell.
Yes.
Just on the screen there, as we can see Yeboah celebrating. Tate Russell will assist. He's just come back into the squad after this break, and he just seems like he's had a new lease of life. He's playing some fantastic football. Yeah, he has. I've been really surprised with how he's been playing. He's actually impressed a lot of people, and we've actually, I'm not sure if we caught up with him a little earlier in the week, did we? We did. The club did catch up with Tate Russell. You can check that out right now.
Tate, big match against Perth Glory coming into this one. They're right in the mix for that race to the finals. One of the teams that we have to try and jump to get in there. How are you feeling ahead of tonight's match?
Yeah, I think we don't have to focus so much on them, just focus on ourselves. Go into that game with the momentum that we have coming up off the back of a win, and make sure everyone just does their individual jobs correct, and we should come out on top.
And talking about that, you were one of the top performers against Wellington last time around a few nights ago. I mean, how much confidence did you get out of that, being able to come in and serve your role the way you did? Yeah,
it's always good to get a bit of a dodgy assist, but an assist nonetheless, and come off the back of the win. Just make sure I do my job right, and hopefully I can follow through again, maybe get on the score sheet or get another assist, see what happens.
And what are you anticipating from the opposition? Perth Glory, obviously, as I mentioned, right in the race. They've got something to really fight for. What can you expect tonight?
I think we've just got to focus on ourselves. Like, we shouldn't really be bothered with who we come up against. Just be confident that we're going to do what we have to do to get the win.
Easy. Thanks for your time.
Coming up on your screens now is some vision of the players as they entered Bankwest Stadium tonight for this match against the Perth Glory. Leading the line there is Yeboah. Of course, he had a great game, Tats.
He did. Like we mentioned before, he came on, and he is starting tonight, I believe, in place of Nikolai Muller.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that's a well-deserved starting
Berth,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, Tristan Prendergast is on your screens briefly before. He's played quite decent in his first two A-League matches. He's had to make the step up from the NPL. What are some of your first thoughts?
I mean, look, he had some big shoes to fill coming into that, definitely. He's been solid in goals, I think. He had a clean sheet last week, hoping we can continue that this week.
Simon Cox getting checked there right at the end, of course, as part of the procedures for COVID as they enter the stadium. He did score against the Mariners. Could he get one tonight?
I love a late Cox goal, so I'm hoping we can get one of those. I love his celebrations at the end.
I definitely agree. It is good to see, of course, Jordan O'Doherty back in the Wanderers lineup. Of course, he was away for quite a long time through injury. The club caught up with him this week. You can check that out here.
Geordie, the matches just keep coming. Obviously, a few nights ago we were here against Wellington, and now looking to get another 3 points against Perth Glory. What's the feeling for you heading into this one?
Yeah, it's good having these matches turn around quickly. It's better just playing more games and training. We've had a tough little pre-season, so it's nice to just relax in training and get onto the games. Obviously, every game's tough now. Everyone's fighting for a position in the finals, so it's real close, and Perth will be the same.
Since JP's come in, obviously, things have really changed. Momentum's really come into the squad. It's a different Wanderers team as opposed to the one that went down to Perth a couple of times this season. What do you think will be different this time against Glory?
Yeah, look, we've got a lot of confidence within the squad now. Obviously, the momentum from the win the other night as well, and they're coming off the back of a loss, so hopefully we can get them while they're vulnerable and hopefully do the job and get the win over them.
you must keep one eye on the table, especially with Adelaide, Western United, and of course Perth Glory in there. I mean, how much are you sort of thinking about that as well?
Yeah, we know like it's as simple as that we need to win every game that we play now. That's it. If we just worry about trying to get the result and whatever else happens, we just need to make sure that we go out against Perth and do our own thing, not focus on them as much, and hopefully we'll get the result doing that.
And can I ask what it means to sort of play in front of, albeit a smaller crowd, a few thousand fans, to be back in front of the red and black faithful? What does that mean to you and the boys?
Yeah, even if there's 10 of them, it helps. You can feel the atmosphere even from when we go forward on attack or whatever else. Yeah, it definitely helps having the fans there. Even if it's a small number, you can still feel the atmosphere from them and the passion. So it's just good to be back at home playing at Bankwest as well, where we feel at home and where we do our best stuff.
Can you just throw back to Turner and Tats? Back to you.
Back to who?
Turner and Tats.
Back to you, Turner and Tats.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, thank you, Jordan O'Doherty, for that. A great conversation, of course, and of course he's back in the Wanderers starting 11 after such a long time away from injury. But let's look at the game ahead. We are taking on the Perth Glory. Let's look at some of the key stats.
Yeah, we're sitting at 231 shots to Perth's 201 shots.
In terms of shooting accuracy, the Perth Glory is slightly more prolific than the Western Sydney Wanderers with 54.7% against the Wanderers' 40.6%.
When we're looking at crosses, we are with 463 crosses to their 470.
Clean sheets, Perth Glory, a little bit better at the back so far with 8 clean sheets against the Wanderers' 4. Tats, what are some of the key points for this game?
Look, they're coming off 2 consecutive losses, and we are very excited about our last game against Phoenix. We haven't actually beaten them this season, but we're hoping to change that tonight. Obviously, we know what is in store and what we need to do. Look, they lost 5-3 to Adelaide last week, and they're probably looking to bounce back, so we can't actually, take that for granted and come out strong, really.
It's all on the line for Perth as well, because they're on equal points with Adelaide. They could quite easily slip out of the final series. Obviously, a loss here tonight, and Adelaide gaining any points, they could potentially drop out. So it's all on the line for them too. Yeah,
I think, look, at this point in the season, it's on the line for a lot of people. The way the ladder's looking at the moment, everybody's a few points sort of off anybody else. So it is sort of anyone's, not to sound like a cliche, but it really is anyone's game.
Perth slightly depleted as well, as they've had a number of players not return after the COVID period. But look, before we talk too much about the opposition, we're going to take a quick break. But first, here's the press conference with JP.
Yeah, see, I wasn't disappointed against the Mariners, yeah. It's an away game and it was our first game for 4 months. There was a lot of good things here. There's a lot of things that we could have improved. And, the improvement was the following week against Wellington. The most pleasing thing was, our mentality towards the game was excellent. We were aggressive, we were well disciplined, and then we took advantage of their weaknesses. We stopped them playing their game. Their weapons in their team, we nullified them. So that was very pleasing. And getting that momentum, playing games on a regular basis, for me, it's a plus. So keeping the players fresh, mentally we'll only get stronger, physically we'll only get stronger, and we'll build that momentum right to the end.
Let's take a quick look at the Wanderers starting 11 for tonight's game against the Perth Glory. In goal is number 50, Tristan Prendergast, we talked about before, starting his 3rd A-League game. In defence, Dylan McGowan, along with Patrick Ziegler in the middle and Matt Yeoman out to the side. Out wide, we have Daniel Georgieski and Tate Russell. Tate, of course, impressing us in these opening few games. Jordan O'Doherty in the midfield, along with Keanu Bacchus. And up front, of course, we have the Strikeforce partnership of Mitch Duke, the captain, Simon Cox, and Kwame Yaboa, the goal scorer, returning, of course, for Nikolai Muller. On the bench, number 11 is Bruce Kamau, number 13, Tas Mortakudis. Schwegler's also on the bench. Nick Sullivan, Grozos, Adam, and Suman is the replacement goalkeeper. So still a strong lineup despite Muller's absence, of course the goal scorer returning.
Yeah, absolutely. Goal scorer returning, we've got Cox and Mitchell Duke up there, prolific goal scorers for us as well. So I think it's a pretty strong lineup considering the loss that we took last week.
On their day, they can definitely all score goals. Of course, a strong midfield, of course, a bit of a youth midfield. Of course, Keanu came through our youth academy. Jordan O'Doherty came from Adelaide, of course, originally, but he is quite a strong midfielder. Yeah,
look, we've got a quick turnaround in games. I'm hoping the youth kind of gives them the energy they need to bounce back and give us all the excitement we need for the game today.
Well, you guys can let us know what you think about this upcoming game against the Perth Glory. Get involved at #WSW Live. You can, of course, win a $50, this one here, JD Sports voucher for the best tweet read out. We're going to take a quick break and we're back with you guys after this. I just wanna
Too many back-to-backs, we look crazy, that's a fact. Now it's time to settle down and do like Jigga, fade to black. Those were the days that I could never trade for nothing. We were young and dumb, hustling, always getting into something. Oh no, we standing, spotlight. We go from night to day. Alright, we vibing off away, but I might pull up to the spot. Feel like 50 on my God. I just wanna feel something, yeah. I just wanna feel something, yeah. Pour it in a cup, spill something, yeah. That day is my blood, we feel nothing, yeah.
Welcome back to Wanderers Live. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our partners, of course, co-major partners Centuria and JD Sports.
Along with our senior partners Mitsubishi Electric, Pepper Money, Nike, Herbalife Nutrition, Westfield, EISS Super, McDonald's and Blacktown City Council.
Thank you also to our category partners Club Marconi, Intermain, Mate, Transport for New South Wales, Ola Cabs, Turner Freeman Lawyers and Western Sydney University.
We'd also like to acknowledge our foundation, business and charity partners.
Now, let's have a look at what some people have been saying tonight. Of course, the best comment from tonight gets a $50 JD Sports voucher. Tats, I believe you've selected a winner.
I think I have. So tonight's winner of this $50 JD Sports voucher goes out to Martin McKay, who tweeted, "Right, finished work and finally sat down and ready to watch my new favourite show." That's us. I'm a little bit biased in picking that. What do you think?
Oh, well, I think it's a great tweet. I think that's the best of the lot, really. So
Yeah.
It's great. 2 shows in. We're already someone's favourite show. Hopefully many more of you will join him. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with you guys straight after this.
We're joining us now from Utah. It's Kristin Hamilton. Kristin, a huge congratulations on what has been a stunning debut season in the Westfield W League. First a Golden Boot and next voted the best player in the league. You must be feeling pretty proud about now.
Yeah, it was actually pretty unexpected. So it was really cool. It was cool to get the phone call, but I think it's just a testament to the team and the players that I was surrounded with and the coaching staff I had. So.
And it was a bit of a different role for you at the Wanderers though, wasn't it? Not saying that you don't have an equally as important role with North Carolina Courage, but you had more of a leadership role. How did that impact your season?
It was definitely different than what I'm kind of used to over here in the States with the NWSL. I had to kind of take on a totally different role than what I normally play here with North Carolina. So for me, it was good. It was a chance to just kind of relax and enjoy myself. And like I said, I had coaching staff that just instilled so much confidence in me and believed in me. And I think that a lot of my success comes from that, and having teammates that obviously really phenomenal players that I was surrounded with as well helps.
So can we expect to see you back here anytime soon?
Yeah, I loved it. I enjoyed myself so much. If I come back, I'd obviously have a hard time going anywhere besides the Wanderers. So feel pretty loyal already towards them. But yeah, I mean, if the opportunity presented itself, I would happily come back.
Well, a huge congratulations yet again, and thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you back here very soon.
Welcome back to Wanderers Live. I'm very excited. I'm joined by women's football writer Sam Lewis. Sam, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
How's it like to have football back?
It's sort of surreal. It feels like it's been away for too long. I'm sort of now looking down at a bright green field and sort of wondering if I'm dreaming or if this is sort of like a PTSD moment. I'm not sure.
It's a bit weird. Let's talk about the W League season. Obviously, the Wanderers W League season. We had our best season upstate. We made our first final series. How did you think we went, and what do you think our chances are approaching the next season?
It was so exciting, and it's so exciting for football, I think, now that the Wanderers are competitive in W League. Sydney FC have been obviously giants in the women's space for a really long time, so finally having a crosstown rival that can really bring it to them, I think, is fantastic. And obviously we're currently in a setting where that did happen last season. So I think sort of shaping up for next season, it's really, really exciting. Obviously there's a caveat to everything, right? Because whether or not travel restrictions are going to mean that you're allowed to bring your international players back is going to be a different prospect. But there are so many great players kicking around in the NPL. Lots of local players in and around the NPLW, so I think being able to lean into those kinds of local products and more youth players would be really cool too.
Well, touching on that, we've had a bit of a player exodus, which is fantastic for our players going off overseas. I mean, huge signings, Bristol City, Arsenal cleaning up a whole bunch of our players, Chelsea obviously signing Sam Kerr. Ellie Carpenter signing for Leon as well. I can't pass that. What do you think that means sort of going into it, and what kind of opportunities is that going to have some of our, are we going to find some new local heroes? Is there anyone you're excited to have a look at, get a chance next season?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of people are quite anxious about the big exodus that we're seeing, particularly of all of our Matildas, but I think it's actually, the longer that I've thought about it, the more excited I am by it, because this is the next natural progression, I think, for the women's game. We see it in the men's already. If you're a talented player, you go to a huge overseas club. And so for the W League, the way that we respond to that, I think, is really important. We're sort of positioning ourselves now, I think, to become a development league. And so we are wanting to tap into these local players and these youth development products in order to bring them through the W League to perhaps ship them off to your Lyons, your Chelseas, your Bayerns, all these great clubs where they're going to progress even further. And the sort of the cycle of football means that if they progress much better than what they are here, that means it's going to be good for the national team. And if it's good for the national team, it'll be good for domestic football here. And then it continues.
Well, speaking of natural progression and what's good for the national team, can't go past not talking about Women's World Cup 2023. I know you were very closely involved. And, I mean, we got that bid the same one. You're a Liverpool fan?
Yes.
Have you come down yet on that day?
No.
No? How was it when it was announced that we were going to host it?
It was surreal, honestly, and particularly because the 24 hours leading up to the announcement, we had all those stories coming out about UEFA voting for Colombia and England, and I mean, Republic now, right, guys? So it was sort of terrifying in the hours leading up to it, but once we won it, I think it was just an overwhelming feeling of relief. And then just complete joy. I didn't sleep for probably 36 hours afterwards because I just was on this complete high.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for football, not just for women's football, but for Australian football, because we have needed a good news story for such a long time, particularly at the moment. And so this sort of gives us a bit of a beacon of hope to reach towards, and for everybody to get together and work together in order to achieve it and make it the best World Cup possible.
Well, we were both actually lucky enough to be in France for the Women's World Cup last year. What did you see there, and what are you hoping we can put on show here in Australia?
I mean, that was amazing, right? That was so amazing. And the thing that impressed me most, I think, about that World Cup was the fans. You know, outside of the stadium, there were so many events and things organised to get the general community involved in football. And that, every stadium that I went to basically was packed. And we are a huge sporting nation. We're a much bigger sporting nation than France is. So if we're able to take some of the lessons, I think, that we learned from France and maximise them and really tap into our wider sport community, particularly our wider women's sport community, which is huge, it's honestly going to be the biggest Women's World Cup ever. It's going to be amazing.
I can't wait. Thank you so much for taking your time out to come talk to me. It was lovely to see you again.
I know.
Thank you so much. We are going to be right back with you after these short breaks.
Welcome back to Wanderers Live, and that was a great chat with Sam there to talk about all things women's football and, of course, a really bright future for the game here locally, of course, as the aforementioned World Cup. So very exciting. I'm excited for that too. But let's talk about the game ahead, the exciting game ahead that we've got against the Perth Glory. Let's look at the key matchups for the Wanderers and the Perth Glory. Dylan McGowan for the Wanderers and Alex Grant. Tats, talk us through the stats.
Yeah, so we're looking at the defenders today. We've got McGowan. He is at 20 tackles won to Grant 25. When we're looking at clearances, McGowan is sitting at 107 clearances to Grant's 105, but he's got a whopping 20 blocks to Grant's 3 blocks. So hopefully our backline can pull through for us tonight.
I'll tell you what, I'm backing Dylan McGowan in a challenge with that many blocks, so
Absolutely.
That's great to see. Of course, our player to watch is, of course, the aforementioned Dylan McGowan. We've got a short clip with him. Check it out.
Yeah, you know, we kind of need to rely on a few other results at the moment. It's just the way it is, but you know, with Perth to play, Western United still to play, that we can certainly have our say in getting into that top 6. And you know, I think with how tight it is, if we look after ourselves, we'll probably end up there. So that's our main focus at the moment. Yeah, massively. I think sort of my initial start in football was obviously over in Scotland, and that's a lot of Saturday, Tuesday games throughout the mid-season, a lot of games. So I really prefer it. I enjoy just coming into training, do a light recovery. Today would just be a bit more set pieces, preparing for Perth, and then back to football. It's what we want to do. It's what we enjoy doing, and you can easily get on a run and get the confidence up by winning regularly. So that's what we're looking to do. 3 games to go, win them all, and see where we end up. I think you can take the positives out of it. Obviously, one of the major ones is the clean sheet and the 3 points, but yeah, we've been working towards more positive performances since the gaffer took over. So for us, it's about just executing the game plan as best as possible, and if we do that, then we're confident we'll get the 3 points.
Welcome back to Wanderers Live. Tats, I have a slightly off-topic but still on-topic question for you. Who is your favourite Australian Idol judge?
Are we talking OG season?
OG season, for sure.
All right. I mean, obviously it's club favourite Dicko, right?
That is quite the coincidence, Tats, because during the week, Tim Gilbert caught up with Dicko.
What about that trip you went away on for the Champions? That must have been extraordinary, just to be a part of it.
Oh, look, it was incredible. There were only 11 of us who were allowed to go. It was very difficult. And we had to get special dispensation from the King of Saudi Arabia to allow a girl into the venue, because we had a young girl called Kate who was 21, never been out of Australia before, who wanted to go to the game. We were 1-0 up, remember, with a Tommy Urich goal after the first leg. And I thought, this is going to be a long game, when I knew after 2 minutes I was watching the clock. And I thought, oh no. And I still cannot believe how we won that. And it just felt remarkable that in the first year we won the title, second year we obviously qualified for Asia, got all the way through, beat Guangzhou Evergrande, who had Lippi as their coach and Diamante playing for them, and just, bags and bags of money. But this little team from Western Sydney just punched its way to the final. And then in the most hostile, noisy of environments, managed to hold out and lift the trophy. And all of the backroom staff and Popper and us 11 fans went back to the Australian embassy in Riyadh and had a party in their secret club till like 3 a.m. with the trophy.
Welcome back to Wanderers Live. Of course, we've talked all about the big game that we've got tonight, but they're all vital. And the next home game for the Western Sydney Wanderers is, of course, against the Melbourne Victory. You can redeem your tickets to that next home game against the Victory on Wednesday, the 12th of August. Visit ticketek.com.au to redeem those tickets.
Now, you will need a valid 2019-2020 membership number to download your mobile ticket. If you have any questions or need further information, contact the club. Visit wonderland.com.au.
Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of Wanderers Live. For everyone watching at home, we do have a big game to check out after this one. As we've said time and time again, an important one. The 3 points are vital. Tats, where can they check it out?
So you can obviously check it out on Fox Sport at 7:30 on 507. You can also stream it on Kayo Sports or the MyFootball Live app from 7:30 p.m. Turner, there's going to be some other action going on Twitter, of course. How can you check out the game?
Always a heated battleground Twitter. Of course, follow all the action using the hashtag WSWVPER. We're going to leave you guys just before we head off to this game with a quick hype video to get you really pumped up for this game. We'll catch you guys next week.
It's a good one.
It's been almost 3 years since Tony Popovich broke the hearts of the Western Sydney faithful on the eve of the 2017-18 season. All the memories and the good times don't make us who we are. It's our resilience in the face of adversity that defines us. The Perth Glory returned to Bankwest Stadium, another team looking to write their own story with a clean sweep. But we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. Perth need points to stay in the finals, and the Wanderers are fast approaching. 3 points will bring us within a point of the top 6. Every moment, shot, and point matters. Pop is bringing some familiar faces to Wonderland, but they'll have their work cut out with the Wanderers ready for their next contender. We've mixed it with the best, undefeated against the league leaders. And last Friday, a gutsy and proud victory over second place Wellington. The season is far from over. It's time to show everyone what it means to pull on the red and black hoops. It's easy to look back fondly on the past, but now it's about our future. And when Perth come to town, we're going for the full 3 points as we continue our winning ways at our home, Wonderland.